Hi, my name is Lauren, and I worked with Grace. We're both third-year nursing students at Seattle University doing our population health internship, and our mentor is Yuting, Lynn, and Rachel.
Before we began our analysis of the current inventory, we wanted to explore the nutritional needs of the population that CSC serves. These needs include supporting patients with chronic metabolic illness and cardiovascular disease, as well as promoting mental well-being. Our project has been guided by the social ecological model for food decisions. This model looks into the modifiable and non-modifiable factors that affect snack choices. And while we cannot change the social or the cultural norms of the clients, we can modify the environment and the availability of nutritious options. In addition to looking at the factors that affect individual nutritional decisions, our research relied upon studies that look at the intersection between nutrition and mental health diagnoses and treatment. As you can see, there are many macro and micronutrients that affect mental health and treatment outcome. A recent study out of the California Institute of Technology suggests that 90% of the body's serotonin is produced in the gut, which is why adequate nutritional intake is so vital to maintaining mental health. Nutrients such as B vitamins and zinc are even correlated to increased antidepressant effectiveness, meaning that nutrition is key not only to maintaining wellness, but also increasing treatment outcome. Disease management for diabetes and cardiovascular disease are equally important for the population served at CSC. Clients with diabetes must eat foods with a low glycemic index and increased fiber and protein because of changes in metabolism. Clients with cardiovascular disease should also limit sodium in order to control hypertension.
Now moving on into our main project. The goal of our overall project was to look for nutritional snacks for the Downtown Emergency Service Center Crisis Solution Center clients to be supported in their mental well-being. Our goal was split up between two objectives. First was to assess the nutritional composition of the current snack inventory, and second was to identify alternative snacks that would promote a better mental well-being from the Costco business website and propose a list of alternatives. So for our first objective, we analyzed the current snack inventory. We used a chronometer to go through all of the snack items and look at the composition of macro and micronutrients, and this was the list of all the things that we looked at. Moving on to the main concerns of our project, we noticed that diet has an effect on the management of chronic health issues like diabetes and cardiovascular disease, as well as the severity and prevalence of mental health disorders. And it also affected treatment outcomes of mental health disorders. Some things that affect the diet are cravings due to medications, the access and convenience, as well as the education. And a lot of the snacks we noticed in the inventory were adequate for aspects of disease management, but we found a few items that were not beneficial and possibly harmful to some of the clients. So after we analyzed the current snacks, we found that the cup noodle in particular had very high sodium across all 4 flavors. The chewy granola bars were kind of low in fiber and not very nutrient dense. All 3 flavors of juice were very high in sugar, and the microwave popcorn was very high in sodium as well. The cheesecake was high in calories, fat, and sugar, and the Yoplait yogurt had a lot of added sugar, as well as the hot chocolate, and the pretzels were just not very desirable and not very popular as indicated in our survey.
Before proposing alternative options, we wanted to survey CSC staff to determine current patterns, preferences, and concerns regarding diet. We would like to thank Rachel for kindly distributing this, and we're grateful for all of the staff who responded. We surveyed 12 staff members and included 6 questions about snack patterns, 6 questions about snack preferences, and space for general suggestions, requests, or concerns. We conducted this survey between October 5th and November 11th, and our goal was to gain an understanding about client and staff needs, as well as specific areas of possible improvement. The first questions asked about snack patterns were in regards to time. When asked about a snack distribution schedule, some respondents provided multiple answers. The majority of responses indicated that mid morning and afternoon are the times that snacks are generally given, while 4 out of 12 said any time, and 4 said afternoon or evening. In regards to snack preparation, 7 out of 12 people surveyed indicated that they spend 10 minutes or less preparing snacks. Responses were fairly even regarding whether snacks are offered outside of the scheduled times, with 6 saying yes and 5 saying no. 4 out of 12 people surveyed indicated that there are storage restrictions on site, while 5 out of 12 said there were not. And when asked about safety concerns, respondents provided multiple answers, the most common of which were no concerns, allergies, and water temperature. 7 out of the 12 responses indicated that all present staff are involved in snack distribution, while only 4 said that there's assigned staff.
Moving on to snack preferences, we asked in the survey if there were restrictions and limits on snacks for clients. 5 out of 12 staff said that there were 3 snacks per shift. That was the limit. 4 said that there were no restrictions. 2 said that there are no restrictions, but there should be. 1 said there were restrictions based on dietary restrictions, and 1 said it's based on availability. And then our next question was in regards to if we were to switch from microwave popcorn to pre-pop popcorn. And we wanted to know what the response would be like both from staff and from clients. 5 people who were surveyed said that it'd be a relatively positive response. 4 said fairly neutral. 2 had a concern with clients wanting something that was warm and hot and smelled good. And 1 was concerned with the added ingredients, which does not apply because our pre-pop popcorn does not have additives. And then we wanted to ask about what snacks were popular just to make sure that we weren't getting rid of snacks that were well liked in the Crisis Solution Center. And staff, overwhelmingly 11 out of 12, said that the cup noodle was very popular. 8 said that the string cheese was really popular. 5 out of 12 mentioned both chewy bars and popcorn. 4 mentioned yogurt. 3 mentioned peanut butter, and then 3 also mentioned cereal. 2 mentioned eggs and juice, and then 1 mentioned crackers, milk, cookies, and oranges. So then we also wanted to ask about the least popular snacks. 9 out of 12 said that the fruit options, particularly oranges and apples, were not very popular. 4 said pretzels. 2 people mentioned crackers, and then 1 mentioned string cheese, oatmeal, salty things, and vegetables. And then our 5th question was, we asked if there were substitutes for creamer, because we know that you currently have the powdered packets. 7 people said that there were soy milk options available. 1 person said that there's 2% milk, and 1 person said yes. 2 of you mentioned that the creamer that you currently have is non-dairy powder. And 1 person said that perishable would be preferred by clients, but more work for the staff. And then our last question was, we were wondering if there were restrictions on when coffee was served and like who was getting it. And the response was 7 people had said that from 6 a.m. to 16:30, that's when coffee's available. 6 said that there's no restrictions, while 3 said it's limited to the daytime, and 1 person said that sometimes the sugar is restricted for those with uncontrolled diabetes. And then our very last question on our survey was kind of open-ended, if there were any other suggestions or concerns that they wanted to bring up. And so some things that were brought up were having more low sugar options, especially hot chocolate and juice, and specifically hopefully having a sugar-free cranberry juice available, more frozen options like pizza, pasta, Amy bowls, and taco bowls, and then having more tuna sandwiches and quesadillas, as well as pre-sliced produce.
When proposing alternative snack options, we wanted to look at both the functions that snacks serve to your clients, as well as guidelines for choosing alternative options. The functions of snacks for your clients include the social experience, managing physical needs between meals, maintaining metabolism, and sustaining energy. Our guidelines for choosing the alternative snacks were that they must be nutritious, exciting and enjoyable, beneficial to a wide range of treatment plans, accessible in regards to cost and time, and convenient for the staff and for the clients.
Starting off with cup noodle, we looked at the chicken flavor, beef flavor, shrimp, and veggie. The reason that we were looking for an alternative was because the sodium content was fairly high, as well as the saturated fat content. So our first alternative was canned soup, and it has a lower sodium content and lower saturated fat content. Our second alternative is Kraft mac and cheese, the microwavable individual cups, and that has 1/3 of the sodium of cup noodle. And we want to recognize that the survey did find that cup noodle is one of the most popular snacks in the Crisis Solution Center. So we're proposing to still keep cup noodle, but maybe buy a little less, and to supplement with either canned soup or mac and cheese as secondary options to the cup noodle.
While our survey indicated that chewy bars are one of the more popular snack items provided, our analysis found that they have very little nutritional content, and we feel that a switch to Nature Valley bars or a prepackaged nut mix would be a positive change. The Nature Valley bars come in a variety of flavors and offer increased fiber and protein content, as does the nut mix. Both are more expensive than the current option, but we believe that these options are more filling and nutritious, meaning that fewer servings would be required to satisfy hunger.
Moving on to juice, we looked at lemonade, apple juice, and orange juice. All three had high sugar content of around 50 grams each. So we were proposing to purchase either Crystal Light or Gatorade powder. Crystal Light is a little bit more expensive than some of the options. It is sugar-free and fairly cost-effective. Unfortunately, it isn't sold at Costco anymore, but it is available from Amazon or other retailers. And then Gatorade powder is pretty cost-effective. It's pretty relative, same price as the juices were, with a lower sugar content.
When surveyed about a switch from microwave to pre-popped popcorn, the majority of staff indicated a positive or a neutral response. The current popcorn is high in saturated fat and sodium, which are both harmful to the population at CSC, so we are proposing a switch to pre-popped alternatives, including Skinny Pop and Popcorners. Both are slightly more expensive, but they are far more convenient and more nutritious than microwaved popcorn.
Next, we wanted to talk about the cheesecake. The cheesecake was high in calories at 760 calories per slice. There was 44 grams of sugar in each slice, 53 grams of fat, as well as 30 grams of saturated fat in each slice. So we're proposing to have the alternative of either Milano cookies or Oreo. It's like an Oreo variety pack. So the Milano cookies are a little cheaper than the cheesecake is. It's fewer calories and more convenient, less sugar and less fat. The Oreo and cookie packs are individually wrapped, and they are also cheaper than the cheesecake. They are fewer calories and also more convenient, less sugar and less fat.
The current Yoplait yogurt that is available at CSC has a very high sugar content with almost 13 grams of added sugar in each serving and a relatively low protein content with only 6 grams, whereas our suggested alternative, which is the Chobani non-fat Greek yogurt, has a lower sugar content with only about 2 grams of added sugar per serving and a much higher protein content, almost double the protein of the Yoplait. And while it is more expensive, we feel that this is a more filling and more nutrient dense alternative. So we feel that the difference in cost is definitely worth it.
Moving on to hot chocolate. The reason for substituting this hot chocolate was because the high sugar content, and we're suggesting to instead buy Swiss Miss hot chocolate mix that has no added sugar. There still is 11 grams of sugar, but there's no added sugar, and it is the same price as the current hot chocolate.
1/3 of staff members surveyed indicated that pretzels are not a popular snack, with several citing concerns about breaking teeth on hard pretzels. We believe that an oven-baked chip variety pack would be more desirable and easier to chew, and because only one pack of pretzels is purchased per month, the cost difference would not be significant.
For the coffee creamer, we were originally thinking about switching to a perishable coffee creamer. The current creamer that's at the Crisis Solution Center is really cheap. It's 1,000 count packets for $8.47, and currently you do have access to soy milk and 2% milk. The other options from the Costco Business Center that we researched were a lot more expensive and not that significantly better nutritionally for the clients. So we ended up deciding that it'd be best to just keep the current creamer and encourage the use of the soy milk and the 2% milk as alternatives for the clients.
Surveyed staff indicated a desire for a sugar-free cranberry juice to protect against urinary tract infections. As previously mentioned, the current stock of juice is very high in sugar content, so a sugar-free cranberry juice would be another alternative to these options. While Costco does not have any sugar-free options available, it is available from other retailers, including Amazon, if it is something that the organization is interested in.
Additionally, we want to recommend a multivitamin. Having a multivitamin for clients would introduce more vitamins that may not be accessible through diet alone, and it would provide these nutrients without extra added sugar or calories.
A lot of the staff indicated that the fresh fruit is one of the least popular snacks available at CSC, so we would like to recommend replacing some of that fresh fruit with the vegetables. As you can see, there are a lot of fresh vegetables available from Costco, and they also sell individual hummus packs for less than $8 for a 20 count, and we feel that this would be a more filling and a still very nutritious snack that's a good alternative for the fresh fruit that may not be so popular.
Based on the survey results, there were some staff that wanted some pre-cut, pre-prepared produce. So on this slide, we have some options that the Costco Business Center has. They have pre-sliced red apples in 2-ounce or 4-ounce bags. There are green apple slices. There's both red grapes and tropical fruit salad that comes in a can. There's also fresh fruit cups that are in juice, and vegetable and fruit pouches, as well as cheese, fruit, and nut snack packs.
In addition to the proposed changes to the actual snacks, we would like to suggest a more restricted snack schedule with a limited time frame and assigned staff. Limiting the time frame and assigning staff to snack preparation would allow for more complex prep, less time spent overall, and decrease confusion surrounding distribution methods.
We did want to mention some of the limitations that we came across when doing our project this quarter. When we were researching on the Costco website, a lot of the nutrient-dense food was not affordable, and a lot of the nutrient-dense snacks wouldn't last on the shelves at the Crisis Solution Center.
Thank you all so much for listening to our presentation. We're sorry that we couldn't be there with you. And because we could not meet with you all, Rachel has graciously offered to take notes on any thoughts or feedback from the group. In addition, there's a QR code and a link to a short survey on the screen. We would appreciate any feedback, whether it's via Rachel or the survey. Thank you again.